It's time for pet training. Now, this is going to be a beginner's guide to pet training. I don't want to go too full in depth. There's a lot of things you can do with this. I just want to teach you the basics of what you can do and why you want to do it. With the new update, you actually get a pet
Now have a pet egg in your
from one of the
inventory.
main story quests, which is pretty awesome to see. And so we actually have this pet here who can actually do Maycast. At level 5, we get access to pets. Let's talk about that. By beating Unicorn Way and introducing ourselves to Ravenwood, we get introduced to Sergeant Moldon here, who sends us on a quest to go and rescue these pets. When you get back, you actually gain a pet, and he actually gives you pet XP towards your pet, which is honestly really cool because this is a new mechanic that's been introduced. They're showing you more of how to train pets and how to actually use them in different ways. So really awesome that they helped you skip a little bit here and progress your pet all the way up to teen. Now by pressing I on your keyboard, you'll actually pull up the pets page. Now depending on how many pets you have, they'll all be here just by clicking the next pet. That's if you keep them in your backpack. You can place these pets in your house to walk around free roam. You can place them in your bank, and you can actually share bank them as well. So if you want to pass a pet over to another wizard that you're starting up, you can do that as well. Now, right off the bat, I haven't done any training to this pet other than doing a quest, and they actually gave me pet XP towards it, which is really awesome because before you had to train your pets here in the pet pavilion. Now, one of the special things about this pet is that it gives us a spell card. Now, this is not a spell card you can actually add to your deck. No, this is a spell card that he holds on to. And I know I said it was a May cast in the beginning. This is actually a will cast. A will cast is basically for every battle you get into, you have the option to actually have your pet cast a spell as well, at the cost of 5 happiness, which honestly sounds pretty bad. One of the cool things about the pet that Wizard101 gives you right off the bat is he actually has a will cast, which means he will actually cast this spell if you select it. So you can spam that and give yourself a boost all in one round. Now, this does cost you some happiness points here, and there will be a little bit of a delay. You don't have to wait now 2 rounds before we can cast it again, but really awesome. So we just got to keep our pet fed and happy, and he'll keep casting spells for us. Another thing to know is to make sure you cast this first. Otherwise, you're just going to cast your spell and skip that turn. So be careful with that. You can see here down at the bottom we have a pet options. By clicking this, you can see my pet is 0 happy out of 100. But by simply offering the pet a snack, they will get super happy. We can refill. I'm going to try and get rid of some of these lower level stuff. Let's get rid of this. This will give 2 happiness, 3 happiness, 3 happiness. Now I'm going to hold on to this one. The reason I'm doing that, you can see it actually gives 25 happiness. But as you can see down below, it actually gives a bunch of other stuff as well. Now if we head over here to our backpack, go to housing, fishing, and then snacks, you can see all of our snacks here on the page. Another thing you can do is you can actually feed items to your pets. Like this hollow band here that I can't wear because it's for myths. We can feed it to our pet. Sometimes we can get gold from this, and sometimes we can actually get actual points towards our leveling experience, which is pretty cool. But it doesn't really seem to be adding happiness to it, so you can probably make more money selling your items and then buying pets next, feed them. Now, not only is there quests that you can do that'll level up your pet now, there is also quests where your pets have to actually work. And if you want, you can actually play as your pet with the cost of 5 happiness per minute. So as of right now, I am now my pet walking around, and this is really awesome. Now, this wasn't a thing back when I used to live stream, and me and my community would actually use the morphs to turn into creatures like this, and we would play hide and seek and just hide over here in bushes and stuff like this. So now having the ability to change into pets, I mean, it does cost happiness, but this is actually pretty cool, and can't wait to see what else it can do with it. But you can actually dance as your pet if you want. My guy's dancing right now, I think. Yeah, that's his, you know, his little snake dance. Uh, uh, yeah, 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 yeah. But that use is not just for fun things. You can actually play as missions as your pet, and they can get into smaller holes that you just can't get to. It's another way the devs have added a really cool way to quest. Now, a lot of this to me is advanced. There is things called pet derbies where you can actually race your pet and train them up to have certain talents and abilities here. And honestly, that's just way too advanced for a beginner's guide. And honestly, I don't know how to do it myself. My thing pets are really used for is boosting yourself, right? As of right now, he has that will cast spell, and that's really awesome. So I think we need to level him up. Now, here is the hatchery. If you have two pets, you can actually come here by yourself and breed them together to hatch a new pet. The pets can actually take some of the abilities from both the parents. You find the traits that you want, and you can continuously breed those pets together until you get the pet that you want. Which is another sad thing to think about, that your original pet is not going to be the pet that you want. It's going to be the weak one. And so you have to hatch new pets until you can get down to what you actually want. Yes, there is a way to actually train up the pet that you have to make him stronger, but it's not going to have the strongest traits. Another thing you can do is hatch with a friend or someone that you can find that's willing to hatch with you. This is going to cost a little bit of gold to do so, but in the end, it's going to be the cheapest route. And if your friend has a pet with better stats that you want, it's easier to breed those stats into your pet because you could just continuously rebreed with that pet. Which is also just another thing I don't want to think about, because the baby of that pet is now breeding with that pet, and it's going to continuously do that with the babies. So it's like the grandchildren, and then you finally get the pet that you want, and you're golden. And then that happens to you. You start breeding that pet. I don't want to talk about it. Now, another thing is, if you don't have a friend to do this with, you can actually come over here to the hatchery. People offer up their pets, so you can actually just go through here and figure out what kind of pets you like. Because eventually you might actually get that pet too. Depends on how these pets breed. Now, I can't quite do this because our pet is not an adult, and your pet needs to be an adult to actually hatch. Currently, our pet is a teen, and an adult is the next level. So we can actually go train our pet real quick and see if we can get to this, and so I can actually show you what's going on in the hatchery. Now, there's a bunch of mini games here, like the Goblin Drop, which you're just kind of running around picking up items. You have the dance competition. You have the dojo, which is basically like a giant obstacle course. You have the cannon game, and my favorite is the maze game. Let's quickly run through a game. Now, each of these games is actually going to cost some of your energy. So if you're using your energy for gardening, you're going to have to share if you want to actually train your pet. Because as of right now, at this low level, it's going to cost you 4. And it's going to increase as your pet gets older. There's also badges you can get for how many games you complete of each of these games, which will actually give you the ability to kind of just skip through these games. You could just come here, press skip. It'll just give you these 4+ intelligence. Now you can pick each level. So apples is going to give you +4. Pizza is going to spread out the intelligence to 2, strength to 1, and will to 1, and so on and so forth, depending on what you're trying to level. As you can see here, I have a bunch of stuff I need to level, so honestly, I'm probably just going to stick with intelligence and just go until I max it out. Now, this maze is pretty awesome. You have to eat all these apples or collect whatever ones you're getting. You can get clocks to add extra timer. I want to say if you can hit about 70 apples or 70 points, it doesn't have to be just straight apples, you are definitely guaranteed to get max points. That orange star actually just shot me off into a speed boost, which is really fun. Going through all of these, we have some ghouls walking around here, And if you run into them, they will freeze you. So try and hide in the corners of certain things. We got a timer here. That's good. Game another few minutes. Now this blue star is definitely awesome. Grab it, and we have the gobble of ghost. We got one there, two there. That gave us an extra 5 points. And now we're at 62 points. But I trapped myself in a corner. We need to get back to the route. I really love this game. I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of like my go-to game when it comes to pet training. But you could try out the other games and see if you guys like them. Now we passed our 70. Let's see if we can get 80. And we got 82. And just like that, we have our +4. And I kind of probably overkilled it with how many points I got. There's no increasing past this +4. But we earned ourselves a 1 point towards this. And we can actually feed our pet a snack. And this is why I said we should hold on to it, because the items down here below. So we're getting 8 intelligent, and we're getting 10 will and 7 strength. So the games don't give you the points, it's what these mega pet snacks give us. Now those pet snacks are quite expensive. We can buy them at certain stores here, we can buy them at the bazaar, but they're not going to be that great. We can craft our own as well. Is from gardening. So if you haven't watched my gardening tutorial yet, go give it a shot. But the best thing to get is mega pet snacks from couch potatoes. I'm going to do a tutorial on how to actually get the couch potatoes later down the road, but if you have them already in your inventory and you've collected them throughout your questing of Grizzleheim, then that's great. Plant him down, because he's going to always give you mega pet snacks, and you're going to be leveling your pets super fast. And just like that, 10 games won, a healthy amount of pet snacks that give me an extra 10 here. We have become an adult, and we actually gained some cool things here. We gained Spirited, which is a +50 max, and we gained Befuddled. Remove duck from next pet. Ahead 8 seconds, 45 seconds cooldown. Now these things here are meant for the pet derby, which we'll talk about in a future video when I actually learn more about that. You know, beginners, I'm gonna learn myself. Now I did buy those pet snacks from the bazaar for a healthy amount of money. It was like 1,600 gold each, I believe. But you can actually go here. This was my second option, was to come and talk to this person here, and she actually sells a pretty decent crafting recipe for a pet snack, which this will give you 6 extra points per snack that you feed them every game. So that's not too bad, especially once you're just gonna pay once for this, and then all you have to do is craft them up. It does have an hour cooldown though on it, so I guess this wouldn't have been a great idea for me, but I mean, it was an option. They also do sell these pet snacks in here, but they're only going to give you a +1 to certain things. Now, Pet Derby does offer ways to get these tickets here. I don't have any tickets, but you can actually buy pets with these tickets. You can buy snacks with these tickets and things like that. And I used a lot of my energy training up my pet here, but one thing you can do if you want, you can talk to this guy here, and he can buy your energy back for 250. You can also just look in the crown shop for this under the elixir tab. Over here in this shop, we can talk and buy some extra pets for just gold. So if you're looking to get a cool dragon, you can actually color these guys, which is pretty cool. You can come over here and buy this with gold. Over here, they sell jewels for your pets. These will increase their abilities inside of the pet derby. You can talk to Brock. He will actually sell you pet snacks for those tickets. So if you're playing the pet derby, you can actually get these quite easily, and they will be a lot stronger. But the cost is pretty high. I still don't understand how to fully get these derby tickets. So I did say this was the beginner's guide. So onto this, it's going to be a little more complicated getting into pet derbies and getting into hatching. Now I'm just going to go over the basics here, where you don't really have to go fully in depth and really grind it out. But if you want to know more about it, I'll link a video down below that I believe is a really good guide from Tien Tojin. So give that a look if you really want to dive deeper into this. Okay, so now we can actually browse pets by type. And over here, we can see this Acid Rain. He actually has a bunch of these abilities here. This ability gives him a card, which is Energizing Battery, which is like a health spell. There's Critical Hitter, which is giving critical. We have Critical Striker. So these are just the actual critical items you can get. We have Spell Proof. So now you can go through this and see what kind of pets you like. Like this pet here that has the Deernet Rising. That's pretty cool. Now this is going to cost you over 100,000 gold to even hatch with these pets. So that's why I said it's a lot cheaper if you have a person that you can hatch with. And in order to get these ratings, it's not always a guarantee. That's why you would have to stick with the same pet that has the pure ratings that you want so that you can eventually get them yourself. As soon as you hit adult, you'll get your first one. And as you can see, I got Spirited. This is a bad trait. I'm not getting any extra damage or defense from this, and so basically this is a trash pet. And so from what I would do from here now is breed up my next pet with someone else and start over. I would have to get that pet back to adult and see what we get. If we get an attack bonus this time, cool. We'll go on to the next stage, which is Ancient. And on Ancient, we end up getting Spirited again. Bad, trash pet. And we just wasted all that time and energy in training this pet again. Time to rebreed. You can see like pets like these that are in the kiosk, they all have epic stats, and so you want to make sure you're keeping an eye out on what they have here. And remember that you can see here that this pet still had that ability to get one uncommon, and so there is a small chance that you're going to get that. So finding a pet like this, there's no uncommon here. You have 5 epics at a god, plus you have the ability to get 5 more epics, and it has a rare here. So this is like the purest of pets that you can get. It's a lot of information, and it's a lot of a grind. So honestly, getting into gardening is going to be your best bet to help you speed up the process here. You're going to want to be doing a lot of gold farming because it's going to cost you a lot of money to do this as well, which I have guides on the channel if you want to check those out. And if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in Wiz.